Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get our first bit of exposure, I suppose, to the Asari race. Those are the blue space women I mentioned. In fact, you can see several in the background. One of them is Nisana Dantius. She's a bitch. But we'll talk about her later.
When are we gonna get to do anything?
Oh, okay. Well, here's a question. Actually, the way that this room is set up, it kind of gives me KOTOR vibes. I'm not sure why it just does. Do we have any stupid card games in Mass Effect that we need to play?
Nope.
No.
Thank Christ! I hate stupid card games in RPGs. It's like, oh,
Is
look
it
at
because
this
you can't
fun...
stop playing it?
No, it's because I can never understand the goddamn rules. I could never understand the rules to the
I
card
think you
game in
just
KOTOR.
need to get better at triple triad.
Pizak and KOTOR was amazing.
Well, Ted, do I have a game for you? It's called The Witcher 3, and it has a game called Gwent. Gwent is now its own standalone thing.
Yeah. That was one thing about Final Fantasy IX. I could not understand even how that, whatever the hell it's called.
Okay,
No one
understands.
understands
Master or
Tetra Master.
No one
No one
understands
understands
Tetra Master. Oh man,
And triple triad is just more interesting.
Triple Triad is easier. The rules aren't as the rules aren't a mystery that you're supposed to solve. Is the thing you're supposed to understand the rules.
Well, that triple triad also had a different.
Isn't that the whole point of most games, is to understand the rules? Like, when you're playing soccer, the rule that, okay, you're supposed to get the ball into the goal should be pretty self-evident. It's not just go, win, what?
What Final Fantasy IX failed to explain was how, if no one knew what the letters meant, how did anyone figure out who won the card battles?
And again, triple triad had a secondary function in Final Fantasy VIII where you can use cards to essentially
get spells.
Yeah, to make spells and make drawing pointless.
I like how this guy is wiping down the desk, down the counter with his bare hands because there's no cloth graphic.
I'm part sponge.
Yeah, our mistake is assuming he's human.
Now in Mass Effect 2, there's a Turian bartender on the Citadel, and you have the option to ask him if he knows what's going on. And he says, "I serve drinks, lady. If you want to know what's happening, watch the news." And then he pauses and just says, "I don't know why humans always ask me that."
Bartenders always know what's going on. Like, that's why you always go to bars for your adventuring needs. Not only do the bartenders know every rumor in the entire town, but there's also 5 to 6 different random adventurers in need of work that will follow you literally to their own graves.
Oh man.
Also, there is always that one piece of vital information that you desperately needed at that one particular location.
Yeah, like, God forbid, like, the sketchy thief who managed to pick that up on his rounds, like, just happened to be sick that day with food poisoning or found a wench earlier and is doing them in the alley back. No, they're always sitting there with their cup of beer that, strangely, never needs to be refilled either. It's kind of odd, actually.
In Bayonetta's case, the bartender is also the super boss of the entire fucking game.
Oh yeah, never try to steal anything in RPGs. Why do we have to go and, like, save the world or the galaxy or whatever when bartenders are instantly more qualified, you know?
Because they made the choice to serve the drink instead of justice.
Somebody has to.
Yeah, somebody has to, exactly.
What if it's a mug full of liquid justice? Would that count?
No, that's just ice.
Okay, this is the point at which I decided I'm going to start using the fast travel system. This is kind of a slightly confusing part of the game until you understand the Asari's culture. This is the consort's building, and to your average human, the consort kind of sounds like a prostitute. The thing is, she's more like a counselor slash therapist slash whatever you need for your peace of mind at the time, which apparently also includes that other stuff, but I don't get it. To this day, I still do not get the consort. And the thing about Shaira is that it felt like this game was building her up to be something in later titles, but she never appears again after Mass Effect 1.
No, I thought that sounds eerily close to the Oracle in the Matrix series, but she has some purpose by Revolution. So
Well, the by Revolutions, didn't the actress for the Oracle in the first movie and second movie die, and they had
Yeah,
to
she
get a new one?
passed.
So, yeah, it's I don't know,
Well,
like
she didn't die. She just regenerated.
oh no, I mean like okay, oh you're making a joke.
I was like, we could do that.
Well, I mean, technically, Neo doesn't have to look like Keanu Reeves in the movie in the Matrix. Like he could look like
Yeah, but he loved Point Break.
It's a virtual world. He can be a fairy if he wants to.
Mr.
No, that's
Smith, Mr. Anderson. Interesting choice of clothes you have
I
there.
think I'm done here.
I know, right?
Well, I hope you'll return.
I'm a fairy.
Whoa.
I love
That's
Peter
another
Pan.
reference that I'm pretty sure that anyone in the audience who got it.
Oh, watch
is
The
now
Matrix.
crying.
Even I've seen The Matrix, okay? And that's saying something, because I watch, like, no movies. And even I've seen The Matrix. Just the first one, mind you, but...
I've seen the Matrix trilogy, but I swear to God, I've never watched the second one front to back.
I didn't even bother with Reloaded or Revolution, because I knew they were both terrible, and I just didn't feel like bothering watching a bad movie. So I didn't.
Just head upstairs.
I'm just
Mm,
glad
I
I
didn't.
knew beforehand, because...
I didn't think Revolution was bad, but Reloaded kind of didn't hit
Which-
the right notes for me when I
which
watched
one's which one's which again? I'm sorry.
Reloaded
Reloaded
is
the
the
second
second
film,
one.
Revolution's the third
Okay.
one.
Reloaded is a great action movie. That's about it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it
Yeah.
is. It's-
it. Uh-huh.
Okay,
This-
future movie commentary.
Okay, you know, at least once in every game except the third, there's a Volus talking to an Asari who sounds like a massive creeper. I don't know if it was an intentional running joke, but it's there. Anyway, Shaira has a bit of a problem. There are two ways you can find this quest. You can actually walk into the the consort's office yourself and be given it by her, or you can walk into that office right outside the starting point where you first enter the town and hear about it from the L Corps in there. I heard
what is
about
she-
it from the L Corps.
It's like, what is she doing in this room? She's just standing there staring at a wall. You put herself in timeout?
Shaira is strange. She has a very intentionally mystical persona. She says she's whatever someone needs her to be. Now, if you help Shaira out with her problem, you can either accept her gift of words, or you can be an asshole and well, sleep with her.
To hell with your words.
I am a man of action.
I have a sword that needs polishing.
Actions speak louder than words.
Cuts her neck. Oh, sorry. Got a little too into character there.
If you do this quest and accept the gift of words and compliment her for it, you do get an email from Shaira in Mass Effect 2. That's a lot. That's something Mass Effect 2 does a lot. A lot of the smaller choices that have no real bearing on the trilogy, it at least reminds you that it remembers them with an email from whoever it was you made the choice for.
So what is the gift of words even? Is it like
It's just an inspirational speech she gives you.
Grammarly.
At this point, you're probably noticing, viewers, that there's a lot of screen tearing. That is part of the game. The console version has major screen tearing issues.
okay?
Oh, okay, I thought it was
Okay.
just a video compressor.
Yeah.
Yeah, major screen tearing issues, texture pop in. This is not a very well optimized game. That is another issue that I believe with a proper rig, the PC version eliminates.
That's something I keep noticing about Xbox 360 games when I go back to them, because I did a Let's Play on Star Wars The Force Unleashed not too long ago, and I definitely noticed how bad the screen tearing was, and people in the comments were noticing, and it's like, is that your fault, Clement? I'm like, no, that's the game. That's the
That's the
screen
game.
tearing in the game.
Resident
Yeah.
Evil 5 was pretty bad with that, too.
Yeah. It's just a little more noticeable in Mass Effect 1 because it happens really frequently, and on top of the texture pop in it, it just kind of... Mass Effect 1 has a lot of uglies.
For 2007, though, I can imagine this being pretty impressive.
Oh, it was.
Oh yeah.
But, like, okay, a lot of its graphical elements haven't aged well at all. That includes the optional film grain that I didn't turn on.
You can put on. Oh wait, the game has a film grain mode, where
Yeah,
like,
it has a film grain filter that you can turn on and off in the options. Mass Effect 2 has a film grain filter too, but Mass Effect 1's is kind of blurry and overbearing.
I think it's there to cover up the graphical blemishes.
Somewhat.
no, it's to make it
but
more. It makes it more cinematic, John. You don't
Yeah.
understand.
It somewhat, John, but the film grain itself in Mass Effect 1 is a bit of a graphical blemish in itself because the texture that overlays the screen as a filter is not a very good one.
You know, I have it activated when I was playing the game, and yeah, I've seen worse, but I've seen better too.
Yeah, the Mass Effect 2 film grain is somewhat better, but Mass Effect 3 drops film grain entirely because so many players just didn't fucking like it. You know?
This game is sort of missing. I'm not sure if whether or not this is something you can turn off or on in the console versions, but in terms of atmosphere, this game doesn't so far seem to have any sort of particle effects. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the lighting effects in particular are really ugly in Mass Effect 1. I'm going to say Mass Effect 2 and 3 do it a lot better.
Yeah, because I noticed like it's a very minor thing, but like I noticed like when you're in the Citadel area and you're clearly walking into a beam of light, and your character doesn't appropriately reflect off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, you know, well, there are mods for that if you got the PC version. There's a lighting engine mod for basically anything that can be modded, really. But, it's, it looks pretty good that way. That, along with the texture mod, really helps this game, you know, overcome its aging issues. Ooh, I like how there's this hallway between elevators, and practically nothing happens in the hallway besides one quest point.
Loading screen.
That's basically what the elevators are, right? Loading screens.
Yeah.
Yeah, every elevator in the history of ever in the game.
Not
is a
beat 'em
loading
ups.
screen.
It's a different kind of tedious.
Yeah, but you know what Mass Effect 2 did? It realized that an actual loading screen was far less tedious than an elevator. So it replaced the elevators when you needed to use them with loading screens.
To this elevator's credit, though, at least it has something talking to us to keep our minds distracted.
Yeah, and to be fair, there's a lot of news broadcasts throughout the game and conversations with your party members that, you know, fill the time. The news broadcasts can also be context sensitive to your playthrough as well, because sometimes there are news broadcasts that relate to choices you made in side quests or something.
In other news, Citadel's plans for high-speed elevator antics has been considerably delayed.
Wow, look at that painting of a city.
It's a matte painting.
Now, you don't get to see the Citadel from particularly flattering angles until Mass Effect 3, but basically the Citadel is comprised of a ring, which is mostly where we're actually traversing, and these 5 massive arms, which have huge cities built onto them. Those are the wards. Technically, this is part of the wards, but we only ever go through a few small rooms of the wards.
Is there like a classist thing going on where like some people like the city, some parts of the wards are lower class than the ring or something like that? Or is that
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Captain Bailey in the second game says verbatim, policing a ward is like policing New York City. He's from Earth, so, you know, that's a
say
direct
verbatim?
comparison he's drawing. What?
You say verbatim?
Yeah, that's exactly what he says.
Oh no, he's making fun of how you said verbatim.
Oh.
Two verbatim, please.
Well, you say tomato, I say potato. They're not the same word, but fuck it.
No, that's clearly potato cucumber.
They're spelled the same on the damn teleprompter.
This is your first chance to
Romance.
hit. Yeah, your first chance to sort of hit on Caden. or Ashley, depending on whether you're male or female. Unfortunately, this brings up a slightly awkward point about Mass Effect 1. You have, like, one straight option for the man, one straight option for the woman, and then you have Liara. So,
So there's only 3 romance options in the game.
yeah. It's oddly symmetrical too, and Dragon Age Origins had the same issue, where you had one straight option for the man, one straight option for the woman, and 2 bisexual options, one of each gender.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I get that the same. I don't know. Never mind. I'm gonna drop that because I was very quickly going to be talking about something that I clearly had no idea what I was saying. But I don't know.
So why are you talking at all? But Tish.
Because I'm coming up with a different subject to awkwardly change the point. The romance stuff is something in Mass Effect that I hear people talk a lot about. Do they just add a whole lot more romance options in Mass Effect 2 then?
Yeah.
Yeah, they added it. They also diversified it. EA sort of pressured them into keeping everything heterosexual in that game, but basically, it feels less formulaic, I guess, in Mass Effects 2 and 3, where you have a more a less evenly spread out set of options as far as characters that you can have that kind of relationship with.
So it's not like, you've got the one guy, the one girl, and the alien, basically.
Yeah, it feels more organic when it's less even,
Now, okay, just a quick question. I know that you can romance some of the aliens in the later game, like the really alien-y aliens in the later games. Will they still romance you even if you're a complete anti-alien douchebag in Mass Effect 1?
The game doesn't seem to remember that part.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think they remember that part.
Yeah.
You could be the most big-time xenophobic, like, racist, and you'll still hook up with Liara in this game, so...
Yeah.
Which makes no real sense, since the Asari are kind of the opposite of that, for certain reasons. Oh, right, and this is the markets. I'm not a big fan of the wards in Mass Effect 1. They kind of feel like... really, it's... The Presidium Ring is a really nice part of the city area, but the wards feel really phoned in. Like, ironically, a less colorful version of what Mass Effect 2 made the town sections. To be honest, a couple shops in one area. You can walk down this hallway and talk to this other person. And you can walk down this other hallway and there's a bar. And you walk down this other hallway, there's another bar. And that's all you get. It's kind of lame.
You definitely see the budget increase with each Mass Effect game.
Yeah. Like, the wards on the Citadel in Mass Effect 1 are the only town section in the game that felt low budget to me. And, like, even in the limited-ass town sections in Mass Effect 2, at least you had a sense of scale to the backdrop of the town areas. Where, you could look at it and sort of remind yourself that you were in a big city planet thing. Or something. Oh god, it's Conrad Werner. Hi, Conrad.
Oh, this is the guy you always keep talking about. The guy who's like, he's like your best friend, and then due to a glitch in Mass Effect 2, he hates you or something like that? That's this guy. Oh, man.
Basically, Conrad Werner is a single recurring side quest that pops up after every plot mission you complete. And you can have conversations with him. If you complete all of the conversations, you have the choice to either completely blow him the fuck off, or be nice to him and sort of trick him into going home. But he'll always act like you threatened him in Mass Effect 2, because the save file in Mass Effect 1, no matter what you do, checks both plot flags, the Paragon and the Renegade ending, if you finish his quest. And, unless you alter that before you import your save file, because Mass Effect 2 only checks for plot flags at the very beginning of the game. Unless you alter your save file, he will always react by default as if you threatened him. And that changes not only his dialogue, but the dialogue that leads you into his quest in Mass Effect 2.
The psychopathic stare you just gave. Like, it's like, show me your wares.
What are you buying?
Yeah, that's an oddball thing about Mass Effect 1's vendors is that it treats the look at the wares as a line of dialogue with its own subtitle. So
With no line of dialogue.
Yeah, so it pauses to let that play out, and then it loads the shop. It's very strange.
Oh my god, action!
Wait, what? We got an assassin now?
Yeah.
Well, that came out of nowhere.
Things to do.
So, as we're going to Cora's Den to meet Harkin, this is a back alley strip club bar thing, that a couple Turian assassins working for Saren pop up. It's just 2 enemies, and, well, we're a party of 3. So this poses no real danger to us. But
It's been so long since we actually fought anything, I'm surprised you don't suffer from, like, muscular dystrophy.
now these guys do have shotguns though, so they can be pretty dangerous at close range. But then I'm a Vanguard, so can I.
Oh, I love the ragdolls in this game so much.
Just needs bowling pins.
And now Cora's Den.
Okay, so we're gonna have like a good first season, then a pretty second season in this bar, and then we're gonna finally have a good third season again. Is how it's gonna go? Or
Then it'll be canceled by the council before it can actually come out.
If you talk to Caden and Ashley as you walk into this bar, they both have unique dialogue for it. And I love Ashley's line here. 1,000,000 light years from where humanity began, and we walk into a bar filled with men drooling over half-naked women, shaking their asses on a stage. I can't decide if that's funny or sad.
It's just the law of the universe.
if it exists, they will make porn of it, or in this case, a strip club.
Yes.
No matter how many million light years you away, there will always be men ogling women's asses in a strip joint.
It's beautiful.
Mass Effect.